Hello again. So, I've been thinking lately a little bit about AI, and I really consider myself so lucky to be living during a time of such amazing technological advancement, right? I tell my kid this all the time how lucky he is to be witnessing what he's witnessing right now and to be young going through all of it. And I know that this can feel kind of scary because just the level of technological advances that we're experiencing right now are so earth-shattering and mind-bending that, gosh, it can really feel very unstable right now. I've had a front row seat to this the whole time. And so I wanted to talk to you today sort of about mostly graphic design and AI for your business. So before anybody knew what ChatGPT was, I was experimenting with it, playing with it through their beta platform called The Playground. And I got to test out what this new tool was going to do. I was learning what parameters to use. I was learning what models there were available. I was learning about seed images and all this new vocabulary. And I'm sure I was also probably contributing to training some of those early models. But I even tested the first beta text to image generator, which was called DALL-E by OpenAI. And that completely blew my mind. That was when I realized where my industry was headed. And it really solidified what I knew to be true about this technology. Before that, I was thinking, oh, this might be a fad or a trend. It's not, my folks. It's not a fad or a trend. It is a tool. And so in just a few short years, I've watched this tool grow, really, from just interesting experiments into absolutely powerful, creative assistance, right? It really gave me a preview of where things were headed for my industry and from my perspective, which, to be honest, was very doomsday-ish. And I think a lot of creators will tell you that it's been a really scary time for them. But for businesses like yours, I truly believe that this technology is a game changer. Absolute game changer. And this isn't the first time I've experienced this shift in technology and this disruption, right? I actually, as someone who actually got a traditional photography degree back in the 1990s, back in the late 1990s. I spent a lot of time in dark rooms back in my late 20s, my early 20s and late 20s. And I watched Photoshop actually transform the way that we edit images. The digital technology and that digital revolution, when things went from analog photography to digital photography, was just mind-blowing, right? And it supplanted a lot of businesses, a lot of commercial photographers. But AI is just another one of these shifts, right? And I would argue there's probably a little more existential foreboding in this particular shift, but I don't think that it's necessary. I do think that we need to proceed with caution. And I do think that many of these businesses that are producing these large language models are trying to do that. But I'm an optimist by nature, and I truly believe that we're ready to handle this. And if we aren't, we will be. But aside from all that, as a business owner, you're already wearing multiple hats. And I know you're probably wondering how to make sense of all this AI mumbo jumbo, right? So let's look at how AI can work for your brand, what to watch out for, and when to step back and trust your human instincts. So there is the good, the bad, and the ugly in this, and I'm going to cover everything. But the good, you know that feeling when you're staring at a blank page. I've had it multiple times as a creative and as an artist. Trying to figure out where to start with anything can be sometimes the hardest part. And AI can actually be your tool in this case. So AI can be your first stepping stone in creation and creative, or in any sort of situation where you're just trying to gather ideas. So here's what I've discovered. If you are DIYing all of your branding, start by having a conversation with AI about your business values and your vision. Ask it to suggest symbols and visual elements that really connect with your industry. For example, if you run a yoga studio, you might type into ChatGPT, suggest modern symbols that represent mindfulness and movement. You'll get a list of ideas that might spark something, might spark something creative that maybe it's exactly what you were looking for. And maybe it'll require a little bit of finessing and combining of some of these ideas. But some of the coolest stuff, though, is the specialized AI tools that are out there, like some of the ones that are embedded in some of the apps that you might be using right now, like Canva, or there's multitudes of apps out there that I'm sure have other AI tools embedded in them. These are becoming game changers for you guys. They can help you with design-specific tasks. Like, for instance, when you need to remove the background on an image, maybe for a product shot or something. And back in the day, you really needed to hire a graphic artist to do this because to make it look good or nice, you might need their help. But these are situations where you can use AI. The other one is situations where you might need to change the dimensions of an image, right? Maybe it doesn't quite match the area that you want to print it on or in, and you just need to make the image a little wider. These focused AI tools can handle all of these small time consuming tasks that we would have otherwise had to hire a graphic artist to do for us, right? So, and what does that do? It actually lets you focus on your business. So if you can knock out a background super quick, or if you could just extend the area so that it matches the dimensions of the marketing piece that you're creating, then you're set, right? So another one of these specialty AI tools that you might be using, or maybe you haven't used, but I encourage you to explore, are AI powered video editing. So creating video content can be such a time suck. I know, right? So, but if you're a small business, you may not have the funds to hire a video editor. They can be very expensive. And then learning the tools to edit your videos yourself is another time suck. So it makes a lot of sense to explore some of these AI tools for video editing. You will still have to learn a little bit about those specific tools. For example, Descript is one of those tools, and Opus, I'll put links to those particular tools and products. Now you can take a longer video like this one, you can upload it to one of these tools like Opus. It will automatically chop it up into short form content for you. It will give you the ability to edit this video. So it transcribes your video into text. So you never have to touch a video timeline at all. This particular tool is allowing people to edit videos almost like you're editing a Word document. So this is amazing stuff. So this technology is opening up content creation for everyone, making it possible to maintain a consistent presence across different platforms without getting overwhelmed by all the technical details and learning curves that are involved in editing your own videos, for instance. So another good thing that I've seen with AI is it can be your guide in understanding the emotional power of color. So when you're choosing brand colors, you want them to connect with feelings and experiences, right? So you can try asking AI about the emotional associations with different colors. And you could even ask it with different colors in your industry. Maybe there are industry specific colors that have associations that you can explore. So these insights will help you make intentional choices and decisions that align with how you want your customers to feel when they interact with your brand. So here's another situation where I think AI can really help. So if let's say you're creating your website and you're not quite sure of what kind of style of images that you want that will work with your branding materials or that will work with your brand. So what I encourage you to do is explore other people's websites, maybe in industries that you feel that you might be able to align your style with. Let's say that you're looking at a website that has maybe those bold, colorful designs, those human figures that are kind of out of proportion and full of rounded shapes, very geometric shapes. And maybe you're not sure how to describe this style. Maybe you don't even know what this style is. If you just upload a screenshot of this style to ChatGPT or whatever AI app that you're using and ask, what graphic design style does this represent? AI will actually reveal the name of that style so you have a reference point. And then with this knowledge, you can ask AI to explain the key elements that makes this style work for your brand. And then you could even ask it further to give you ideas on how you can incorporate this style thoughtfully into your own marketing materials. So this gives you a clear direction for creating visuals that really capture that same energy while staying consistent with your brand. Let's get into the bad, because there is some bad stuff. So now I want to talk about more of AI's limitations, particularly in creative design work. So the thing is that while AI can sometimes generate really nice, clean designs that might be pretty cool looking, it often lacks originality and creativity. So like when you ask it to create logos or brand assets, you'll notice that it comes back with some of the most obvious symbols and ideas. So like if you're in the wellness industry, it'll probably spit out something that has a lotus flower in it, or it might be a simplified human in, say, a yoga pose or something like that. And if you're a mountain guide, it'll just use little triangular mountains. Sometimes these aren't really bad designs. They're actually pretty good designs. The problem is they're predictable designs. because AI is trained on a large data of information, and there is a lot of mediocre work out there. There's a lot of generic work. So this, in my opinion, is where human creativity becomes irreplaceable. So your brand really deserves more than a generic image or symbol, right? Your brand really needs a thoughtful touch, something that is intentional and meaningful, and really represents your unique story and your values and whatever that genuine connection is that you want to build with your audience. AI can't quite do that right now. That doesn't mean to say that it won't be able to do it in the future, but right now that's where its limitations are. Here's the other thing. Sometimes when AI tries to get more creative, it kind of goes in the opposite extreme, right? You might get designs that feel like just a confusion of different elements, and they're just like thrown together and mashed together all in the same image. And it really feels like AI is trying too hard. It's just trying so hard to be different and original. And, or you might even notice that some of these images look strikingly similar to existing brands. And that's because AI is learning on what already exists out there, right? So it is just not truly innovative right now. And that, in this instance, can actually get you into some trouble legally. And then when it comes to copyright, and I'm filming this in February 2025, you cannot copyright an image that has been 100% generated by AI. This area of copyright is right now, it is evolving. I don't know how often this is going to be changing. It's going to probably have to adapt along with the technology. But this actually means that you need to have a significant amount of human refinement to a design or a graphic that was created by AI in order to be able to legally copyright it. Here's something else that might actually surprise you, or maybe it won't. But while AI promises to save you time, oftentimes the reality is very different, right? You might find yourself spending hours just tweaking prompts and regenerating images just to get that perfect output, right? And what starts as like, oh, I'll just quickly create this with AI, actually turns into a time-consuming, mind-bending, I want to pull my hair out from the roots waste of time, which ultimately pulls you away from what really matters, which is running your business, right? So that is where I think the limitations are right now. Now, all this is going to be changing and evolving over the next weeks and months, because I'll say AI is not evolving at the pace that past technologies have evolved at. AI is evolving at a very rapid pace. And it's just due to the nature of the technology, which is actually a learning technology. And it learns on itself. It's able to create things and then learn what it did wrong or find its errors and actually learn from those errors. So it is a technology that will be rapidly evolving. So you need to stay on top of this. But here's the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So the ugly part right now is in design, using AI for graphic design, is design discernment. And what I mean by this is, so this is where we really need to be thoughtful about how we use AI, right? It's a powerful tool, but it can't replace your ability to make informed design decisions, right? While AI can generate just endless amounts of variations for you, ultimately in the end, you've got to make a decision. And it can't tell you if a design truly works, right? It won't be able to tell you if it's going to really align with your audience, your core audience, or if it aligns with your values. That is something that you need to be able to discern and make those decisions about. So every design choice needs to be evaluated through multiple lenses when we're creating a brand and a brand identity. And some of them are very practical and tangible, like, is the text readable, or does the image just look cool? I mean, if it looks cool but you can't read the text, it's a no, like that's a no-brainer for like, nix that, it's not working. Does that color combination feel comfortable to look at, or is it overwhelming, or maybe it's vibrating, it's the wrong color combination, or it's creating the wrong emotion? And when your customers see this design or this graphic or this marketing piece, will it resonate with them the way that you want it to? And these aren't technical questions here, right? They're questions that require a deeper level of human understanding and sometimes even intuition. What does our gut say about this image? Like, is this the right image? So, and here's something crucial that often gets overlooked. So AI just cannot handle the technical demands of print design. Not right now anyway. So if you need materials printed printed on paper from an offset printer, or going down to Kinko's or wherever. Maybe you need business cards or brochures or a banner or a billboard. AI just isn't capable of creating press ready files. It just isn't. And these files won't meet industry standards. So color consistency will be questionable. It won't be using set mixes. And what I mean by this is, for instance, as designers, we'll be using Pantone books and CMYK mixes that have already been printed on a certain type of stock so that we know how it's going to look once it's printed. Now, any printing will be affected by temperature and humidity and all those things, and the type of stock that you're printing on and all that. So there's a lot of variables in printing that AI just can't foresee or anticipate. And so it may be using colors that just won't be reproducible. And you have to remember, what you're seeing on the screen is very different from what gets printed on a piece of paper, on a business card, or on a brochure. So these aren't like just minor inconveniences. This is huge. These are fundamental limitations that can impact your pocketbook because you'll have to reprint things over and over. But it also impacts how your brand shows up in the real world. And these inconsistencies can create havoc over time. And so anyway, these are things to be thinking about. I've seen businesses really get caught up in the excitement of AI generated designs, but they're not pausing to think about these essential questions, right? They end up with visuals that might look like, they're great visuals at first glance, but fundamental design principles, forget it. Like it's completely, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a disruptor there as well. I mean, we have artists all the time contradicting design principles, but oftentimes they do it from a discernment point of view, where they can see that it still is balanced, or the colors are off for a reason, to evoke an emotion or to create a vibration, right? So remember, AI is a tool. And like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how we use it. Your brand's success comes from making intentional choices about when and how to incorporate AI into your design process and into your marketing materials, into your business. And we should be always keeping our audience's needs and their experiences at the center of every design decision. So finding your balance. So here's how you can make AI work for you while still, being genuine and true to what your brand stands for. So use AI to explore initial ideas, right? For your brand elements. If you're designing your logo in-house, or you've got a creative team member that's going to do it, AI can be great helping you create ideas and concepts, and it can be an awesome tool for that. Learn about different design styles and trends using AI. So if you want to learn, if you see a design or a style that you want to explore more, you think it would be really on brand for you, use a screenshot of that, upload it to AI and explore that, learn about that style. Ask it to tell you what that style is. Then you can generate more images based on that style. You can generate lists of concepts that align with your values. You can plug in your values into AI and ask it, give me some concepts that would align with these values. And then you can understand design terminology too. If you don't understand certain words, maybe you're working with a printer or a vendor and they're asking you for something like a PMS color and you have no idea what a PMS color is, you can ask ChatGPT, what is this? Now there is a caveat to that, in that PMS colors are part of that discernment, design discernment. And as graphic designers, we often have to use our own expertise to match the color that we created on the screen to a color that can be printed. So also trust your instincts when you're making final decisions about your brand's direction and the style, the look, and the feel. And when you're choosing elements that reflect your brand, think about its personality. And this isn't something that AI can do for you. Only you have a deep and meaningful understanding of what your brand personality is like. You can trust your instincts when you're using AI to create content that really needs to connect emotionally, right? So this is where you trust yourself and rather than AI, but you're using AI as the tool. You can trust your instincts when developing your own unique brand style and voice. AI won't replace design or what designers do, but it will transform how we work with it, how we create with it, right? And for you as a small business owner, it's one more tool you will have in your pocket. So for me, this isn't about resisting the change. It's about staying curious, right? And being adaptable and thoughtful in how we embrace these new tools. I have clients that won't even touch AI because they think it's evil. And I think that is the absolute wrong position to be taking on any technology. Technology is not evil. It's how we use technology. The tools of technology are objective. They aren't good. They aren't evil. They're neither of those. So I believe that our success in this changing landscape won't be coming from either choosing to use AI or choosing to use human creativity. I think it'll come from learning to sort of dance with both. And you're already an expert at running your business. And now we can add AI to our toolkit as well. And we can use it thoughtfully. And we can use it actually keep ourselves consistent and evolving. And we can use it to expand our ideas, expand our creativity. So I'd love to hear how you're thinking about AI in your business, and if you guys use any AI tools. If you do, what kinds of questions do you have about them? If you do, just feel free to just shoot me an email and ask a question or leave a comment. All right, so that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoy getting curious about AI.